Hi guys, iStories here, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I have a story for you titled, Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with my girlfriend after finding out the truth? For this story guys, this is the male writing in. He's 30 and he's talking about his girlfriend who's 29, and it starts as follow. I've been dating my girlfriend for 2 years now. I recently took my girlfriend on a getaway weekend, nothing fancy, just 4-day weekend to the Hilton, going on fun outings she mentioned she wanted to do, like ice skating, dancing, painting and other fun activities. I don't know about you guys, but Hilton is pretty fancy, to be perfectly honest. Nonetheless, he continues, I'm in love with this beautiful woman. Before we started dating, we worked at the same job together and have been best friends for a long time. I soon grew a crush on her because she was cool to talk to and be around. I was also friends with her ex-boyfriend. They'd been broken up for a year or two by the time I started liking her. I wanted to ask the ex-boyfriend, since we were friends, would it be okay if I asked her on a date? He said absolutely, and I had no problems with me and her possibly dating one another. A day later, I asked her for a drive in the theatre movie and she said yes. And okay, so yes, there's an element of bro code involved with this, right? But he followed the process. He asked the ex-boyfriend in question, which was also his friend, and he said yes. Would I do it personally? No, but you know, at least he followed the process. He continues, after the first movie date, we made the drive-in theatre our weekend thing, and we would go out to eat or comic conventions and anywhere we spend time together. One day, I wanted to make it official, so I asked would she like to be my girlfriend. She said she wanted to remain just friends, although it hurt a little. I was absolutely fine with her decision. We still continued our weekend movie nights and outings. Why? Like, why? I know I laughed. I wasn't laughing at him, right? I was laughing at the stupidity of what I've just read, right? So you guys used to go out on movie nights all the time, date nights, whatever you want to call it, right? Friends outing, let's call it that for now. You, with the sole purpose, of getting the girl, you finally, after, you don't mention how many times, but I'm guessing you've done that, a handful of times, multiple weeks, potentially months, you eventually asked her out. And she said no, right? She said she just wanted to be friends. And what did you do? You continued to go out with her. And I guess my question is why? It just doesn't make any sense. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, right? But iStories, boys and girls can be friends. And that's absolutely true. Completely agree with that. But fundamentally, that's not what he's looking for. He's looking for the relationship with her. She's not. So in order for them to move on, he has to remove himself from that situation. And yes, that will involve removing himself from hanging out with her. Anyways, that's my opinion. You guys can let us know what you think in the comments. But nonetheless, continuing on the story, he goes, but every once in a while, she would show signs that she liked me. She wouldn't let any other girl talk to me, or if I mentioned a girl I thought was cute, she would say under the breath, she better stay away from my man. See what's happening? See, you wouldn't have to put up with that if you moved on, but fundamentally, she wants to keep him in layaway. That's literally what's happening there. Now, if he removed himself from the situation, this wouldn't be happening. Anyways, he continues, so catching these hints, I stopped talking to other girls and didn't bother to ask any girl out thinking she wanted to go out with me. Why? I asked her to be my girlfriend again, but again, she said she just wanted to be friends. Wow. Okay. Well, move on, right? At this point, you just really got to move on. But does he move on? No, he doesn't. He's going to persevere. He continues, a few weeks later, she would quit the job we worked at together and find a new job, but we would still hang out on weekends. One day, I was out running errands and saw her on a date with someone. I didn't approach them, of course. Wise move, to be perfectly honest. But I have a rule to not go out to movies or any dates like activities with a girl who has a boyfriend or is dating in respect to the boyfriend. So I stopped inviting her on our weekends hangouts without telling her why. Finally. She didn't mind because her attention was on the other guy. Exactly. And see what happens? She was very quick to move on from you without even saying anything, but here you are inviting her on dates and you had to see her with someone to finally be like, oh, let me remove myself from this situation. I wanted to give her and the guy I thought she was dating their space. 3 months passed for us not texting or hanging out, and out of the blue she texted me asking could we hang out to catch up and chat. I said, yeah. You never learn. Some people just don't learn. I said, yes, of course. Of course you did, yes. And we did after. Sorry, he wrote this weird. I said yes, of course, and we did. After that, we started hanging out again, going to the movies together, and she would come over my place almost every day, and we would and we would watch movies there until 12 a.m. or 1 a.m. Okay, I wonder what your intentions are here. And once again, she would drop hints that she liked me, but I wasn't going to ask her out a third time, just in case I was wrong. If she liked me, she would have to ask me out. Okay, I mean, I still wouldn't do it, but better than nothing, right? At least the onus is now on her. He continues, after 4 months, she finally did it. Oh, wow, she did? Okay, let's see how this goes. I said yes, almost immediately. Well, yeah, of course you did, right? I would be shocked if you didn't. Which brings us to telling me, after the weekend getaway, that the entire time we were hanging out before we got together, she was dating and, oh my God, she was dating and sleeping with other guys. And around the time I asked her ex-boyfriend if I could date her, and I'm talking about the start of the story, right? At the start of the story, I mentioned on how he asked the ex-boyfriend if he could date her, and he said yes. So he's saying, and around the time I asked the ex-boyfriend if I could date her, they were still sleeping together. Oh, that guy's definitely not your friend. They were still sleeping together whilst we was going on drives in the theaters and spending the weekends together. Wow. Okay, let's see how this finishes. Even during the months of her coming over to my place and hanging out until midnight, after the 3 months gap of us not talking, she was still sleeping with other guys. Exactly. And look at what you had to put up with. Had you asked her at that time, right, the first couple of weeks, after going to the theaters, drives, whatever you guys do, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? No? Okay, goodbye, right? You just move on, and you don't have to be harsh or horrible about it. You're just moving on with your life. But, you know, you were treating her nice, taking her to all these places, doing all these activities, and she didn't even care about you, and she was sleeping around, and she knew exactly what you wanted out of this, right? And you wanted a relationship. Look what you had to put up with. Look what was happening behind your backs and all that, because you just, for whatever reason, didn't want to move on after asking her. Like the lengths of what people have to put up with to eventually see the light. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. Nonetheless, we carry on with the story. He continues, she told me she didn't want any other girls talking to me because she liked me the entire time we was hanging out. She just wasn't ready for a relationship. That's my point. She was just keeping you there on layaway. And this is coming from her mouth directly. Literally, this is exactly what she said. She told me she didn't want any other girls talking to me because she liked me the entire time we was hanging out. She just wasn't ready for the relationship. But once she went to a new job, she jumped into a few months relationship. Exactly, which makes no sense, right? He continues, even the night before she asked me to be a boyfriend, she went on a date and slept with a guy, and she was hoping for the second date with him, but he ghosted her. A bit of karma. She told me she liked that I was nice to her, but wanted to have coitus without any attachment, which is why she slept with other guys while hanging out with me. Bullshit! And I know I swore. Like, no. It just makes no sense. It's just like, look at what he's putting up with now. He continues, I'm the beginning of the relationship. I guess he means in the beginning of the relationship. She told me she danced with other dudes at the club while out with friends, kisses a guy, and would get in random dude's car when she needed a ride. Okay. I gotta laugh throughout this. It just doesn't make... do you know what? He continues, so am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with her am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with her after finding out she used me and making me her last resort? Now, my opinion, absolutely not. I'm sure you guys reading this would feel exactly the same. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But there is an update to this. But before I get to the update, let me just read some comments just so you guys can get perspective. So one of the users says, OP, I've been through something like this before. I'm going to start off by saying not the a-hole. I fully agree. What this looks like to me is that this girl is very aware that you like her and she enjoys the level of attention that you've given her. Exactly, right? She knows you're an ego boost that she can keep in her back pocket. Exactly, right? Layaway, which is what I'm referring to. And because of that, she won't let you move on with other girls. It makes you think you have a chance with her. Do not play these games, OP. This isn't right. One more comment before I Carry on with the rest of the story. This guy says she will always be looking for an upgrade. Even now, she's scouting for someone better. OP, she's not a good person. Think about it. She can sleep with men the night before she commits to you, but you can't even talk to other girls. She's a user and you deserve better. Now, onto the update. Thank you for everyone for the advice and thoughts. After a long conversation, I decided to break up with her. Hallelujah! Do you know what? Actually, let me take it back. You should never have got together in the first place. But nonetheless, hallelujah. After asking what was her thought process in using and stringing me along for so long, she told me she simply wanted to have a cake and eat it. Wow. Okay, well listen. At least she's honest, right? I mean, in this perspective, right? The layaway one, she wasn't, but at least she's being upfront here. He continues, also, I am no longer friends with her ex-boyfriend, and rightly so, right? I was asked why would I ask her ex-boyfriend, would it be okay to ask her on a date? He and I was close friends on our early 20s. Out of respect for him, I wanted to make sure it wouldn't be awkward to see his friend and ex-girlfriend together. I mean, look, I know someone in the comments asking that question, a couple of people were a bit funny regarding this. I don't agree with it. I think what he done was right, to be perfectly honest. I mean, if you put yourself in that situation, not that it would necessarily bother you, but you'd be like, what, really? You didn't even give me a heads up? Like, who does that? Like, bro codes, come on, guys. Anyways, he continues, I also asked my ex-girlfriend why did she reach out to me after 2 months I gave her and the guy she was dating space. She told me she was curious on what I was up to and missed hanging out. She stopped talking to that other guy she met at a new job months before she reached out. Do I believe it? No. I mean, do you guys believe me? Well, not me, sorry. Do you guys believe her? Let me know in the comments. But a few weeks after she reached out to me, she slept with him again. I need to read those 2 paragraphs again, right? I asked my ex-girlfriend why did she reach out to me after the 2 months I gave her and the guy she was dating space. She told me she was curious on what I was up to and missed hanging out. She stopped talking to the other guy she met at a new job months before she reached out. But a few weeks after she reached out to me, she slept with him again. Of course she did. She said she was in fact using me for the type of attention I was giving her. Most of the guys she slept with tricked her into having coitus, unprotected coitus. I mean, OP, it was good actually that you guys didn't have any coitus. Or having her buy the hotel rooms. There's been times when she sent a nude to one of her best friends and wanted to sleep with another friend of mine only because she gave her a compliment and she'd never been hit on by a woman. Okay. And she only asked me out because she was tired of being used and sleeping with random people, and I knew I wasn't going to use her like they did. But in the end, I couldn't stay with someone who wouldn't respect me from the start. Thank you guys for listening and helping. And that's the end of the story. I mean, fundamentally, in the end, it worked out to the OP, right? But look at what he had to go through. And there was no need for it. But nonetheless, guys, that's the end of the story. Let us know your comments and like this post. And I'm out. Peace.